Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at Drome here in New York City. It's part of the Soul Factory's Independent Soul Showcase here in New York City. Singer, songwriter, and producer Angela Johnson's career spans well over a decade, and she's released 5 stellar independent soul recordings, which has garnered a lot of attention both here and abroad. In fact, her latest album is revisited, edited, and flipped, and she rescales as well as remixes a lot of her solo work that she's written and produced over the last decade. Tonight we're going to sit down and talk about her career. We're going to talk about her upbringing up in Utica, New York. We're going to talk about her time with Cooley's Hotbox, which she was the featured lead vocalist. And we're also going to talk about Purpose Recordings. She and her husband and partner, George Littlejohn, decided to put together an independent record company in which they're bringing large-scale R&B and soul back to the masses. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds of Miss Angela Johnson live here at Drome. It's part of the Soul Factory Independent Soul Showcase here in New York City. Angela, congratulations on Revised, Edited, and Flipped. And I set the piece up saying that you are at about 11 years in your solo career, and this CD really is a reworking of a lot of the songs plus a lot of remixes that you have collaborated with.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this because, first and foremost, I didn't have to do much. I didn't have to wear the producer cap. I didn't have to rewrite the songs or anything. I let the songs take another life, and that was excellent for me. I was able to enjoy these songs all over again. And I worked with some pretty amazing people, such as DJ Spinna. Oh my goodness, there's numerous people from Japan, Makoto. Gosh, it was just amazing to be able to have some really very, very well-known producers and DJ remixers come and, bless my album with their remixes of my songs. So it was excellent. It was excellent.
Some of these are kind of like borderline dance hits. I mean, we're going back to the Cooley days.
Yeah, Cooley's Hotbox, you know, they definitely had made me established, I guess, in a strong sense, a singer slash producer, composer, and artist in the dance world, or house world, if you want to call it. But yeah, I have a pretty strong foundation, and those are my roots. I love to dance. I love creating songs that make people move and express themselves in that way. So this was very close to my heart.
You know, you're 11 years into a solo career, but you've been in the game for a bit longer. How do you feel? How do you feel now as an independent artist? You know, you're doing your projects on Purpose Recordings, which is something that you and your husband started. How do you feel now, 11 years in the game, doing it solo versus trying to do it with the majors?
Wow, well, being with the majors, we did have a taste of that as a band with Cooley's Hotbox. You know, it was a great experience. I've learned from it. I've learned that, you know, it's best to do it independently because you have so much control over your music and your craft and the way that you're promoting your music and putting out your work. These are all in your hands, and you have to move with it. I enjoy being an independent artist because I'm able to express myself in every way that I possibly can. I don't have to stick to one genre of music. I can go out of the bounds or out of the boxes and create something different. And people are into your music because of you, because of what you have been able to display as an artist. And you know that's what I want it to be. And I'm in this business for the love of music. And the fans that gravitate towards me are in it because they love music, and that's perfect.
Angela, there's a big caveat to what we're talking about here as far as independent. You are very big overseas, and I want to know what you and how you view your fans overseas versus here in America, and how do you have to perform differently over there versus here?
Well, you know what? I've been blessed to, you know, over the past 10 years to tour to Japan, to the UK, to Europe, and been able to express myself in any way possible on stage and off stage. You know, there's the language barrier, of course, when we travel to Japan, but, you know, music is universal, and however you sing it and whatever language you play it or sing it in, people understand and they can follow your emotions and they go with you. And that's one of the reasons why I love touring in Japan. They are just so receptive to the kind of music that I love and play. And they are not afraid to give it up for you. I mean, they're very reserved as, you know, people. But at the very end of the show, they're standing up and dancing with you on stage and off stage. And they enjoy music. And it is very different. You know, here, I think sometimes we can be a little bit more reserved. Maybe we're too cool or too hip to show how much we like a song or a style of music. And, you know, I mean, that's cool. If that's what floats your boat, that's awesome. But I believe in just showing love for the artist and showing how much you care about their work and what the work that they're putting into their music. There's nothing wrong with that, and I think that we could learn from the Japanese that we should be able to express and show our love and generous loving feeling that we have for their music, and that's what we ought to do.
Utica, New York is home.
Yes.
And I understand that you got your chops early. You started playing violin and piano at a relatively early age. Tell me, when did you decide, or when God gave you that gift that you decided to just nurture and just groom it?
You know, I don't know if I ever decided. It was just innate. I mean, I knew that I was going to be either performing it or writing it, composing. I knew that very early on music was going to be a part of my life, a very strong part of it. And I think my parents knew that early on too. And they just nurtured it. They did not go against it. They didn't advise me to have a backup plan. They said, go ahead, follow your heart, do what God has blessed you with. Because if you don't, God's going to take it away, and then you're going to be worried about it. But no, I truly don't think that I've decided. It was just something that was a fiber of my being, that it's music. I was going to have a musical life.
What kind of music did you hear growing up at home?
In Utica, well, you know, we had our radio stations, mostly top 10. Then we had country, and of course, classic rock. We didn't have black stations, so we did have one college radio station called WPNR, and on Saturdays we would be able to listen to R&B music and what was popular during then. But I guess because I grew up in a big family, my father's family was there were 15 kids in the family, and then on my mother's side there was 13. So I had a lot of young aunts and uncles around that also played a lot of music for me, their music. So I was exposed to that. And you know, my father loves reggae. I've been listening to that from way earlier, when my father first made his trip to Jamaica with my mother. But I've been exposed to so much, and of course, gospel has been a foundation. Both sides of my family, they have been strong in, you know, singing gospel, and they have roots. I have my grandfather, God bless his soul, passed some time ago, but he was the pastor of his own church. And yeah, I've been exposed to so much music. And then I have to, you know, add classical, because that's where I got my music theory from. I studied violin at the age of 9, and before that I started studying piano, classical piano, at the age of 7. So I thank God that I was exposed to all of these genres of music. It has made me the type of songwriter, artist, musician that I am today.
You know, college is where you hooked up with a partner that kind of took your whole music. When you guys got together, your whole musical career kind of went into overdrive.
Yes. Well, that partner's name is Christian Urick, a.k.a. Coolie C. He was the founder of Coolie's Hotbox, and you know, I have to give him a lot of props for bringing me out of my shell and putting me front and center as an artist, or you know, a front center artist of a band, and helping me to find my voice as a singer. You know, I wasn't always comfortable with my singing voice. I just knew I could do backup, and that's what I thought I would do for a while, is sing backup for some major star. But no, Christian was excellent in helping me nurture my talent as a singer, and a lead vocalist at that. And we did some writing together, and we are still very good friends today. He's been touring with Tortured Soul for a minute, and you know, we may revisit that Coolie's Hotbox feeling again, and maybe turn out another album. We'll see.
You know, I wanted to clear something up, and it should be clear, because that group was really an R&B acid jazz band, but overseas you guys were known for dance hits and house.
Yes. It is a little confusing. What happened was that a lot of our music was heard because of the remixes, especially in the UK. I also went to Scotland for the very first time, traveling abroad, to record or re-record some of those tunes, and you know, they were turned into house mixes. But yeah, a lot of people were confused. They thought that we were a house band as opposed to an R&B band, but no, we were strictly R&B and soul. Like the people that we listened to that were inspiring us was, you know, Rufus and Shaka Khan, Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, those kind of groups that really inspired and gave us the inspiration to, to kind of create the music that we did.
When I saw you on that band stage tonight, I know that one of your musical heroes is Patrice Rushen, and we're gonna go into that just a second. But I saw a lot of Stephanie Mills on that stage.
You know what? That you're not straying too far from them, because Stephanie Mills, definitely, she has a unique voice that I love so much. And oh my gosh, she's a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse, and I love the way that she delivers, and it's so much energy in that little body that she has.
I was gonna say, she is tiny.
She is really tiny, but she, along with Patrice Rushen, along with Aretha Franklin, Chaka Khan, those women have paved the way for me to become the type of artist that I am. I love each and every one of those women. Gladys Knight, I can go on and on about these women that I love, particular things about their voices and the way that they perform and the way that they deliver a song. And I just take pieces from them and kind of create what Angela Johnson would do if I were to sing their songs or interpret their songs in the way that they do. And I'm just so in awe of those artists. And I keep going back to those classic artists, because we can always learn from them. We can always learn from them. They have definitely paved the way for artists like myself.
Your production, you did an album called A Woman's Touch, and this record was really an amalgamation of a lot of songs that you wrote, that you penned, but you produced for other vocalists. And this is where we go into Patrice Rushen, because Patrice was, and she still is, she's a music director. She was a child prodigy at like 3 and 4 years old. She's a classical pianist, a jazz pianist. She's an R&B vocalist. The shoes, that's where I'm going at. I mean, because you're wearing a lot of shoes on this project. And in your solo career, you have definitely written your stuff and you've produced it. How hard is it, or how easy is it to produce for other people and for yourself?
Oh my goodness. It's really not that hard. It's just, when you click with the right person, things just flow. I mean, when I worked with Rahsaan Patterson for A Woman's Touch, Volume 1, I was a little nervous before he came to the studio. You know, this is Rahsaan Patterson. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, what are we gonna do? I mean, this guy, you know, he's done so much, and I love his music and I love his voice. But he was very cool when he came to my studio, which was in my apartment at the time, and we just kind of sat down and knocked out a tune. I sat at the keyboard and he started singing some melodies, and it just flowed. It was. I feel like we were vessels. We were just something was feeding through us, and that was the presence of God. And I truly believe that whatever comes through me is God working through me, and that's what happened within the studio. And that's usually what happens when I work with other artists. And you know, sometimes we work it where I already have a track, and then I send it to the artist for them to write to. And other ways of having people work with me are just having them come and bringing ideas to me. But it really depends on the situation and what we're feeling that day and how things come about. It is a flexible situation because I can play both sides of the coin. I have been that artist that had to be produced, and I can be the producer to make them feel comfortable and show them how I would interpret the song and maybe help them interpret the song in a different way.
Angela Johnson, what does soul music mean to you?
Wow, what does soul music mean to me? Soul music really is, it's an emotion, it's the feeling that you're getting from a piece of music. I really believe it could be a classical piece, it could be reggae, it could be rock, it could be whatever style of music it is, but it has to speak to your soul. It has to come from the soul. It can't come from anywhere else. And that's what I truly believe soul music is.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at Drome, here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank the talented Miss Angela Johnson for her time, as well as the staff and management here at Drome. Also, I'd like to pay a big shout out to Rich Johnson of Soul Factory for their hospitality. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.
Let's do it!